Welcome to In Focus. I'm John Lieberman, a very special guest today, Max Wessel, joining us from the West Coast of the U.S., Chief Innovation Officer at SAP. Max, it's good to see you.
It's great to be seen. Thanks for having me, John.
So let's hop in. You of all people know that this term innovation is thrown around like it's become just a common part of our vernacular. So first, just tell the audience, what is a Chief Innovation Officer for a company like SAP? What do you do?
In my role, I really believe the charter is twofold. One is to evangelize and educate around how we can be making improvements for our customers at all parts of the company. And the second is to steward some of the projects that are farther out in the future, where driving that invention requires patience and focus and attention over a period of years.
Let me ask you this, because I know you talk to customers a lot. Obviously, we're still in the middle of a global pandemic. When you're talking to customers, what are they saying in terms of innovation, particularly customers that are just trying to kind of weather this storm? What are you hearing out there?
There used to be a lot of conversation around what I'd call reimagination. How do we invent new processes to combat digital disruptors that are attacking us from the bottom up? I talk to about 5, 10 CIOs a week, and I would say the most common thread right now is how do I use innovation to increase flexibility? The real drive of every company now needs to be experiment to bring new methods of creating value for your customers to market, because the day-to-day operations that existed in 2019 don't exist anymore. And so new tools and solutions that SAP can bring to the table that make it cheaper, faster, and easier to deploy those processes is what we have to concentrate on and what we have to work with our customers to enable.
Yeah, when you're talking to these CIOs, what are their main pain points right now?
They've got to emancipate cash from the balance sheet. For them, there is this highly uncertain environment that they exist in today, and their job is figure out what can be deprioritized and figure out what can be automated so that they can bring new capital and investment to market in the places that will reinforce their business.
I've heard you talk about organic innovation. What is that, and what's the goal there?
There are two ways a company can grow. A company can grow inorganically by acquiring or partnering for different paths forward, or a company can build and grow its own new revenue. One of our big focuses at SAP is bringing a great deal of organic innovation to market. In part, this is because we realize that increasingly in a cloud world, probably different for many IT vendors over the last 30 years, the value of having a strong platform in place that can extend value in a number of different situations is immensely high. And we have that at SAP with the cloud platform. Mm-hmm. And what we are trying to do is use that foundation to deliver innovation more rapidly in a variety of different spaces.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Also, I did want to ask you, obviously it's a billion-dollar question. How do you future-proof your business? I know there isn't a black and white answer there, but what are some things that companies can do?
There are really two ways you can future-proof an organization, and you have to do both. The first is you think about the things that can derail your business. The example I'd use is a hypothetical quantum computer. When somebody builds one of those computers, it will break RSA and security issues will be pervasive. There's huge downside if all of a sudden all software in the world becomes insecure. To future-proof SAP, we invest a lot of effort in building a blueprint to get to a quantum-safe ERP implementation. That's one type. It's protecting against downside. The other piece that's probably more inspirational and more exciting for a lot of companies out there is how do you unlock growth? And we use a pretty standard framework around disruption here, where we believe that by making software, really any good or service, cheaper and more accessible by allowing people who were never previously afforded the opportunity to use software in a given situation, the ability to derive value from it, we can unlock massive amounts of value in a market.
If I'm hearing you right, Max, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you're saying overall is that despite this pandemic, or maybe because of it, now really is the time to innovate. It's not the time to just think about survival. It truly is the time to innovate.
When everything reaccelerates, you want to be the vendor of choice to support your customers. And that means you have to invest in innovation. When I talk to CIOs, the light bulb goes off when they realize that the same steps that they needed to take for the long term before are the things that stabilize them now. We moved in the last 30 years from a world where standard experience in delivering products at scale allowed us to lower price and satisfy more customers, to a world where every end user wants a personalized experience. They want a solution that fits them and suits their needs in the moment. And that requires a flexible foundation, whether it's flexibility in the back office or flexibility at the point of sale. And that same capability is what will allow you to adapt on the fly to the processes that need to exist for a COVID-19 world, and to change as we get back into the office, as our retail chains open back up, because we need to adapt in real time right now across our organizations. And that foundation is the same foundation that will allow our customers to adapt experiences for their end users as the world continues to evolve. And so that's when, the light bulb goes off and the realization occurs that innovation and response are not incompatible.
Good stuff, Max. Well, we could talk for a long time, but we gotta let you get back to work. I know you have a lot going on out in Palo Alto. We appreciate your time, Max, and stay safe.